If you were the kid who never asked for help, who seemed way more mature than everyone else, listen carefully. That wasn't maturity. That was giving up on being seen. Before we continue, if this is hitting close to home, leave a like and subscribe because we're diving deep into psychology that might explain your entire life. Here's what actually happened. You didn't choose independence. You learned that needing people was pointless. Maybe you asked for help and got ignored. Maybe your emotions were too much for the adults around you. So your brain adapted. It did what brains do when survival is on the line. It stopped expecting support and started providing it internally. Psychologically, children are wired to seek attachment. That's not weakness, that's biology. But when that attachment isn't available, the brain rewires itself for self-sufficiency. You stopped crying because no one came. You stopped sharing because no one listened. You stopped needing because needing hurt too much. The adults around you probably praised you for it. They called you independent, mature for your age, so responsible. And you made it your identity because it was the only positive attention you got. But here's the part most people miss. That kind of independence came at a cost most people never see. You became the kid who helped everyone else but never asked for anything. The one who remembered everyone's birthday but felt weird when people remembered yours. The one who figured out how to do your own laundry at 8 because no one offered to teach you. From a neurological standpoint, chronic emotional neglect affects brain development. Your prefrontal cortex learned to operate without external support. Your limbic system wired itself to expect emotional scarcity. You became efficient at managing your own emotions and terrible at sharing them with others. That's not a personality trait. That's an adaptation to an unsafe environment. Behaviorally, you learned to perform competence. You became the person everyone could count on because being needed felt safer than needing. Giving put you in control. Receiving made you vulnerable. Even now as an adult, you probably can't accept compliments without deflecting. Someone offers to help, and your first instinct is to say you're fine. You'd rather struggle alone than risk the discomfort of depending on someone. That's your nervous system protecting you from a pain it remembers. The pain of needing someone and them not showing up. There's another layer here that runs deep. The parentified child grows into an adult who feels responsible for everyone's emotions. You manage how other people feel. You anticipate their needs before they ask. You're the friend who brings soup when someone's sick, but never mentions when you're struggling. The coworker who stays late to help, but never asks anyone to cover your shift. The partner who handles everything so no one has to worry. This isn't generosity. It's a trauma response. You're recreating the dynamic where your worth is tied to how useful you are, not who you are. Psychologically, this is called hypervigilance in relationships. You're constantly scanning for what people need so you can provide it before they leave. Because deep down, you still believe people only stay if you're valuable. You attract people who need you, but don't see you. Partners who lean on you emotionally but never ask how you're doing. Friends who call when they need something but disappear when things are good. And you allow it because being needed still feels like the closest thing to being loved. At least they're there, even if it's only because you make their life easier. The truth is, you weren't too mature for your age. You were too alone. And your brain did an incredible job protecting you. But what protected you then is limiting you now. Real intimacy requires vulnerability. It requires admitting you don't have it all together. It requires trusting that someone won't abandon you when you need them. If you never learned that as a child, you have to teach yourself now. And that's hard because your entire nervous system is wired to believe the opposite. From a therapeutic perspective, healing this pattern starts with grieving. Grieving the childhood where you should have been allowed to be a child. Where your needs should have mattered. Where someone should have noticed you were struggling. You have to feel that anger and sadness before you can move through it. You can't think your way past grief. You have to let yourself feel it. Then comes the reparenting work. You practice asking for help in low-stakes situations. You let someone buy you coffee. You ask a friend to listen while you vent. You notice the discomfort, but you don't let it stop you. Your nervous system needs new evidence. Evidence that needing people can be safe. That vulnerability doesn't always lead to rejection. Here's the shift that changes everything. Independence is a skill. Hyper-independence is a wound. One is a choice you make. The other is a defense mechanism you develop to survive. People who grew up with secure attachment don't see asking for help as threatening. They see it as normal. They weren't conditioned to believe their needs were burdens. You didn't get that. So now you overcompensate in ways you don't even realize. You say yes when you want to say no because disappointing people feels dangerous. You work yourself to exhaustion because rest feels like weakness. You handle everything alone because asking for support triggers shame. But here's what happens. Achievement without connection is lonely. No matter how much you accomplish, how independent you are, how capable you seem, it doesn't fill the void. The void isn't about success. It's about being seen for who you are, not what you do. Psychologically, this ties into something called earned secure attachment. Just because you didn't start with it doesn't mean you're stuck. You can develop it through intentional work. It requires choosing different people. People who don't just take. People who ask how you're doing and actually wait for the real answer. People who can handle your emotions without making you feel like a burden. That feels uncomfortable at first, because it's unfamiliar. Your nervous system is used to relationships where you do all the emotional labor. So when someone shows up for you consistently, it triggers anxiety. Your brain doesn't trust it. It waits for the other shoe to drop. But that discomfort is where the healing happens. You have to sit with the fear that they might let you down. You have to take the risk anyway, because staying in hyper-independence keeps you safe, but it also keeps you isolated. And you've been isolated long enough. The hyper-independent child often becomes the adult who attracts emotionally unavailable people. Because unconsciously, you're drawn to what feels familiar. Familiar is people who don't ask too much of you emotionally. People who let you stay in control. People who need you but don't push you to need them back. You tell yourself you prefer it that way. You're fine being alone. You don't need anyone. But underneath that, there's still a part of you that's that kid hoping someone will notice you're not okay. From a behavioral standpoint, breaking this cycle means setting boundaries you've never set before. It means saying no without a 3-paragraph explanation. It means recognizing when you're overgiving to avoid being vulnerable. It means catching yourself before you automatically slip into caretaker mode, before you fix everyone's problems so no one has time to ask about yours. It also means getting comfortable with people being upset with you, because not everyone will like your boundaries. Some people benefited from you having none. The people who truly care about you will respect them. The people who don't were never really there for you anyway. Here's something most people don't realize. The hyper-independent person often has a hard time celebrating their own wins. Because when you've done everything alone your whole life, success doesn't feel shared. It feels isolating. Like you climbed a mountain and no one was there to see it. So you downplay it. You move on to the next thing. You don't let yourself feel proud. That's why community matters. Not people who need you, but people who celebrate you. People who see your effort, not just your results. People who value your presence, not your productivity. You deserve that even if you don't believe it yet. Even if every experience taught you otherwise. The child who had to grow up too fast becomes the adult who doesn't know how to rest. Because resting feels like letting your guard down. It feels like something bad will happen if you stop being productive. Your body keeps the score, though. Chronic stress from childhood shows up in adulthood as anxiety, burnout, insomnia, digestive issues, chronic pain. Your nervous system never learned to feel safe. It's been running on survival mode for so long that it doesn't know how to turn off. From a somatic perspective, healing requires more than just talking about it. Your body holds the trauma. Breathwork helps. Yoga helps. Anything that teaches your nervous system it's safe to relax. You can't think your way out of a body that's been in fight or flight for 20 years. You have to give it new physical experiences of safety. Here's the paradox nobody talks about. The more independent you had to be as a child, the more codependent you might become as an adult. because you learned to meet your emotional needs through being needed by others. You became indispensable so you wouldn't be abandoned. That's not healthy interdependence. That's enmeshment. It keeps you in relationships where you're constantly giving but rarely receiving, where you feel drained but can't stop because stopping feels like rejection. In your career, this shows up as overworking. You're the person who stays late, takes on extra projects, never uses vacation days. Not because you love the job, but because your worth feels tied to how much you produce. Your boss loves it. Your body doesn't. You're burning out trying to prove you deserve to take up space. In friendships, you're the therapist friend. Everyone calls you when they're struggling. You listen for hours, give advice, show up when they need you. But when you're going through something, you don't reach out. You handle it alone. You tell yourself they're too busy. They have their own problems. You don't want to burden them. That's not friendship. That's a one-way street where you convinced yourself the crumbs you get back are enough. In romantic relationships, you're the one who adapts. You learn their love language but never teach them yours. You meet their needs but minimize your own. You become who they need instead of staying who you are. And when it ends, you're confused because you did everything right. You were so easy to love. But easy isn't the same as known. They loved the version of you that never asked for anything. They never met the real you because you never felt safe enough to show them. From a neurological perspective, this pattern runs deep. Your brain built neural pathways that associate vulnerability with danger and self-sufficiency with safety. Rewiring those pathways takes repetition. You have to create new experiences where vulnerability leads to connection, not rejection. Where needing someone doesn't end in disappointment. Start small. Ask a friend to meet you for coffee when you're having a bad day. Let someone help you move instead of doing it yourself. Tell someone you're struggling instead of saying you're fine. Your nervous system will scream at you to stop. It'll tell you you're being weak, you're burdening them. They'll leave. That's the old wiring talking. Do it anyway. Notice the discomfort, but don't let it control you. Because on the other side of that discomfort is connection you've been starving for. Here's what nobody tells you about healing this wound. It's not linear. Some days you'll feel like you've made progress. Other days you'll slip back into old patterns without realizing it. You'll say yes when you meant no. You'll handle everything alone when you could have asked for help. You'll perform independence when what you really need is support. That's okay. Healing isn't about being perfect. It's about catching yourself more often. It's about choosing differently when you notice the pattern. The hyper-independent child learned their needs didn't matter. The healing adult learns their needs matter most. Not in a selfish way, in a self-preservation way. Because you can't pour from an empty cup, and yours has been empty for years. Filling it isn't selfish, it's survival. You did nothing wrong. You adapted to an environment that couldn't meet your needs. You survived something that could have broken you completely. That's incredible. But now, you get to do more than survive. You get to choose relationships where you're not just needed, but truly seen. Where you can be messy and human and still be loved. You get to rest without guilt, to receive without shame, to need people without fear. That's what healing looks like. It doesn't erase the past. It doesn't undo the loneliness or the pain of growing up too fast. But it gives you a choice. You can stay in the patterns that protected you, or you can build new ones that free you. And that choice is yours now. People who truly love you won't want you to be independent all the time. They'll want to support you. They'll want to be there for you the way you've been there for everyone else your whole life. Let them. It's terrifying, I know. But the alternative is spending the rest of your life performing strength while collapsing in private. You've done that long enough. You deserve to let someone catch you before you fall. If this resonated with you, drop a comment and let me know. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because if this hit you hard, it'll hit them too. Sometimes just knowing you're not alone in this is the first step toward believing you don't have to do everything alone anymore. Subscribe, and turn on notifications because we go deep into psychology, trauma, attachment, and everything that shapes who we are. I'll see you in the next one.